short film called The Beauty Tax. Spoilers ahead, watch out, and take care. The movie begins in a Japanese office where the manager yells at everyone for not being good enough at their jobs. However, when a beautiful woman, Aiko, makes a mistake, he lets her off the hook and even apologizes for being rude. Aiko's coworkers are not very fond of her because no matter how hard they work, the manager only ever favors her. Not just at work, but wherever they go, people give Aiko extra attention. At lunch, only she gets a complimentary pudding. While returning home from work, a salesman gives her 2 packets of free products, while the others get 1 packet per 2 people. For Aiko, it is a normal day because she is used to getting special treatment. Somewhere else, in a press conference, the Prime Minister announces that the financial condition of the country is in a complicated situation. Hence, to cope with this problem, the government has decided to enforce a new law in which the attractive women of the country will have to pay a beauty tax. The protesters in the audience claim that this is modern-day systemic discrimination against women, but the Prime Minister claps back, saying that beautiful women receive a lot of financial privileges, which is not fair for ugly people. He declares that the law will soon be enforced, and the ones who try to avoid the beauty tax will be punished. Beautiful women probably have nothing to worry about, as they don't have to pay for anything to begin with. Some days later, Aiko is approached by a man who offers her a modeling job for a beauty salon. Her colleagues, jealous of her popularity, walk away. As Aiko follows them, the camera pans towards a newspaper headline that says the beauty tax has been enacted. When the 3 go for lunch that day, Aiko's co-workers pay 1,000 yen for their food. However, Aiko is asked to stand in front of a scanning device. The device is supposed to scan women and measure what percentage of tax they should pay, according to their beauty. Aiko poses for the machine, and it scans her face. The results say that she is the 2nd level of beauty, so she should pay 20% beauty tax. Her total comes out to 1,200 yen, which she reluctantly pays. The restaurant that used to provide her with free complimentary desserts is now making her pay extra just because she is beautiful. Later, while buying a bottle of water, Aiko again has to pay more than a normal person. Likewise, all the pretty girls of the nation, according to the level of their attractiveness, have to pay a certain amount of tax. The news reporters interview common people about their thoughts on the tax enactment, and people seem to be quite happy about it. One man claims that he has spent a lot of money on pretty girls, so it is only fair if they have to pay more taxes than him. Another not-so-pretty girl states that the beautiful ones were getting pampered, so it is only appropriate if they have to pay more. Before the law was enacted, many people thought of it as discrimination towards women, but after it was enforced, the people have changed sides. Now, most of the nation is in favor of the beauty tax. The next day, Aiko receives her paycheck and excitedly opens it, only to be disappointed. The money on the check is a lot less than her actual salary. She goes to the manager with the concern and finds out that the beauty tax also applies to her salary, which means she will get 20% less than what she used to. The manager calmly explains to her that it is not his fault, but the government's. To make her feel better, he offers to treat her with meals whenever he can. Enraged by the discrimination, Aiko and the other beautiful women of the city hold up signs and protest at the tax enforcement office. The man there asks them to go away because the decision has been made and it is definite. Aiko retaliates that this is the worst form of discrimination, but the man claps back, claiming that they have had the pretty privilege. He asks Aiko to give it a thought and dismisses the matter. When Aiko thinks about it, she slowly begins to realize she has had pretty privilege all her life. She remembers when she was little. She broke a flower pot once. The adults used to get mad at the children for doing the same thing, but their reaction was different for her. In college, her friends didn't let her pay for meals anytime they went out, just because of her beauty. And even now, at work, her boss pardons all of her mistakes, but he gets annoyed when others do the same. Back in the present, the officer states that beautiful girls like her have always had social and economical benefits, which are unfair to others. Hence, the beauty tax is a reasonable law that ensures fairness. To make Aiko feel better, he adds that her beauty has been recognized throughout the country by the standards set by the government. Looking at the situation from a different perspective, Aiko starts to feel better about the 20% tax. The narrative changes when the girls who pay higher taxes start to be seen as the better ones in society. Aiko even goes to a reality television show and expresses her happiness at being one of the few people who pay 20% beauty tax. The girls say that they are being asked out often at restaurants and bars when guys find out that they pay beauty tax. Even at Aiko's work, her popularity skyrockets, and she starts being known as the girl who pays 20% beauty tax. Unlike her previous interaction with restaurant cashiers, now Aiko is delighted to pay more money for being beautiful. Her manager calls her when he has important business meetings, and his business partner signs the papers without hesitation after seeing Aiko's beautiful face. While purchasing things, she makes sure to emphasize that she pays a 20% tax to those around her who only pay 5%. When Aiko receives her paycheck, instead of getting mad, she is flattered and considers it the fate of a beautiful woman. She is thriving more than ever until Reiko Tajima arrives at her office. Reiko pays 25% beauty tax, making her more beautiful than Aiko by law. Her colleagues all follow Reiko around, claiming that she is prettier than any celebrity they have seen. Aiko is stung by jealousy to see all the men drool over Reiko because she is used to being the center of attention. She vows to be prettier than Reiko in some days. Then she starts to exercise day and night in hopes of losing weight. She also goes to spas daily and receives several expensive facial treatments. After a lot of hard work, she goes to a restaurant and scans herself to find out that she now has to pay 30% tax. Aiko jumps in happiness to have finally gotten prettier than Reiko. But when she looks at her bank balance, her happiness vanishes to see only 2 yen left. Her day gets worse when she hears about Reiko's plastic surgery. At first, she believes Reiko might have gotten plastic surgery to be prettier, but is shocked when she gets a look at her face. Reiko had surgery to become less attractive. She looks completely different than she used to. It turns out that her fiancé left her because she was too expensive to take care of. As Aiko thinks that her day couldn't get worse, she is summoned by her manager, who informs her that she has been fired. It turns out that the company had to pay more taxes for every beautiful employee, and to cut the unnecessary expenditure, they have decided to fire all the beautiful people. Soon, the narrative around the beauty tax changes again. Beauty products that make women seem uglier start selling out. The people who were proud to pay more because of their beauty start making themselves uglier to keep their jobs. Moreover, men start to avoid beautiful women because their cost of living is too damn high. One day, Aiko is in the bar, distressed about her life. A man approaches her and offers help to get her taxes lowered. Before she can continue the conversation, Aiko gets a call from their family lawyer. It turns out that her dead mother has left her with a lot of wealth that she inherited from her uncle. However, the beauty tax also applies to inheritances. Since Aiko's mother was also very beautiful, the inheritance amounts to -1 million yen, meaning that if Aiko wants to claim the inheritance, she will have to pay the government and receive nothing. At night, Aiko goes to the bar again and meets the same guy. He introduces himself as Nonomura. Aiko and Nonomura get closer while talking. He suggests she make herself look ugly to avoid taxes and even hands her fake thick eyebrows. Aiko is a little skeptical because avoiding paying taxes might put her in jail, but Nonomura assures her many girls do the same. The next day, Aiko draws thick lashes and freckles all over her face. As a man with thick brows and freckles, this offends me. She also hides her beautiful hair with a short wig and adds a huge mole to her nose. The tax officer is startled to see her come in. She claims that she has been stressed because of her mother's death and has gained some weight. The officer scans her, and the machine declares her ugly. He finally takes Aiko off the pretty women list, which means she will no longer have to pay for the inheritance tax. Thinking that all of her problems are solved, she rushes outside and calls Nonomura. He congratulates her and invites her to meet his parents in a nice dress. Aiko understands that the man is interested in her and smiles to herself. She is happy that even in a time like this, someone is in need of her beauty. On the day they are supposed to go out, Aiko excitedly does her makeup. However, her plans go in vain when 2 policemen knock on her door and arrest her for trying to be ugly to avoid paying taxes. They also inform her that Nonomura is a notorious marriage swindler who covets the inheritance of beautiful women. It turns out that he was never interested in her beauty and was only trying to get her inheritance. Aiko is then sentenced to 2 years in prison. She is depressed and alone, as her life has taken a turn for the worse. Her only friend in the prison is her cellmate, who is also in for trying to be ugly and avoiding taxes. As they talk, Aiko wishes that she was born ugly. If only her nose was 1 centimeter shorter, her life might have turned out differently. But her cellmate advises her to never turn away from reality. She claims that they both are unhappy right now because of their dull hearts, not because of their beauty. According to her, they were too focused on having a pretty face, and they forgot to keep their heart happy. Aiko is inspired by her new friend's words. She vows to work on beautifying her heart when she gets out. Cut to 2 years later. Aiko is finally let out of prison. She is dedicated to working on her heart this time. She sees a kid crying for ice cream and kindly offers to buy one for her. However, the shopkeeper returns her extra money, saying that she isn't pretty enough for beauty tax. Moreover, some kids from behind her call her ugly. Hearing this, the beautification of heart leaves Aiko's mind. She gets offended, claiming that she is still very beautiful, but it turns out that in the last 2 years, the standard of beauty has changed completely. Since men favored ugly women because of the beauty tax, they became more popular and are now considered more beautiful than traditionally beautiful women. Amazed at the new world, Aiko hands the kid her ice cream, but she refuses to accept it because of Aiko's ugliness. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.